I will going to discuss the taxonomy of affective domain. Affective domain involves our feelings, emotion, and attitudes. This domain includes the matter in which we deal things emotionally, such as feelings, values, appreciation, enthusiasm, motivation, and attitude. This domain is categorized into 5 subdomains, which include: first is the receiving, second is responding, third is valuing, fourth organization, fifth is characterization. There are 5 levels in the affective domain, moving from the lowest order to the highest. First is the receiving. Receiving is the lowest level of the affective domain. It is simply the awareness of feelings and emotions. It involves passively paying attention and being aware of the existence of certain idea, materials, or phenomena. Without this level, no learning can occur if information is never received and cannot be remembered. For example is listening attentively to someone watching a movie, listening to a lecture, watching waves crash on the sand. We have the second is responding. This level is involved actively participating in the learning process. You are not only aware of a stimulus, but you respond to in some ways. For example of this level is having a conversation, participating in a group discussion, giving a presentation, complying with procedures, or following directions. The third is valuing. Valuing is the ability to see worth of something and express it. Valuing is concerned with the worth you attach to a particular object, phenomenon, behavior, or piece of information. This level range from simple acceptance to the more complex state of commitment. Simpler acceptance may include your desire for a team to improve its skills, while more complex level of commitment may include taking responsibly for the overall improvement of the team. The example of this proposing a plan to improve team skills, supporting ideas to increase proficiency, or informing leaders of possible issues. The fourth is organizing. Organizing involves putting together different values, information, and ideas, then relating them to already held beliefs to bring it into an internally consistent philosophy. So, essentially, it is ability to prioritize one value over another and create a unique value system. The focus of this level is on comparing, relating, and assessing value to create that unique value system. For example, example of this level is spending more time studying than playing sports, recognize the need for balance between work and family, or prioritize time effectively to meet goals. And the last one of this level is the characterizing. This is the highest of the affective domain. It is about internalizing values. It means acting consistently in accordance with the set of values you have internalized and your characterization or philosophy about life. Essentially, you internalize values and let them control or guide your behavior. For example of this level is you spend time with your family, you refrain from using profanity, and you make friends based on personality and not looks. That's all, and thank you for listening.
Attitude is a feeling, position with regard to a person or a thing. It is a position or posture of the body appropriate to or expressive of an action or emotion. Attitude can alter every aspect of person's life, including their education. Student attitude on learning determines the ability and willingness to learn of a certain student. If negative attitude are not altered, a student is unlikely to continue his education beyond what is required. Changing student negative attitudes towards learning is a process that involves determining factors driving the attitude and using the information to bring about change. We teacher needs to.
Good day, everyone. I'm going to tackle about the number 4 questions. The hierarchy of needs by Abraham Maslow. So, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is the theory by Abraham Maslow, which puts forward that people are motivated by 5 basic categories of needs. So, according to Maslow, we have 5 categories of needs. We have the physiological, safety, love, esteem, and self-actualization. In this theory, higher needs in the hierarchy begins to emerge when people feel they have sufficiently satisfied the previous need. Although later research does not fully support all of Maslow's theory, his research has impacted other psychologists and contributed to the field of positive psychology. So what is Maslow's hierarchy of needs? So in order to better understand what motivates human beings, Maslow proposed that human needs can be organized into a hierarchy. So this hierarchy ranges from more concrete needs such as food and water to abstract concepts such as self-fulfillment. According to Maslow, when a lower needs is met, the next need on the hierarchy becomes our focus of attentions. So number 1. There are the 5 categories of needs to Maslow. So number 1 is the physiological needs. These refer to basic physical needs like drinking when thirsty or eating when hungry. According to Maslow, some of these needs involve our efforts to meet the body needs for homeostasis. That is maintaining consistent levels in different bodily systems. For example, maintaining a body temperature of 98.6 degrees Celsius. Maslow considered the physiological needs to be the most essential of our needs. If someone is lacking more than one need, they are likely to try to meet these physiological needs first. For example, if someone is extremely hungry, it is hard to focus on anything else beside food. Another example of physiological need would be the need for adequate sleep. Safety. Once people's physiological requirements are met, the next need that arises is the safety environment. Our safety needs are apparent even early in childhood, as children have need for safe and predictable environments and typically react with fear or anxiety when these are not met. Maslow pointed out that in adults living developed nations, safety needs are more apparent in emergency situations such as war and disasters. But these needs can also explain why we tend to prepare familiar or why we do things like purchase insurance and contribute to a savings account, love and belonging. According to Maslow, the next need in the hierarchy involves feeling loved and accepted. These needs includes both romantic relationship as well as ties to friends and family members. It also includes our needs to feel that we belong to a social group. Importantly, these needs encompasses both feeling love and feeling love toward others. Since Maslow's time, research have continued to explore how love and belonging needs impact well-being. For example, having a social connection is related to a better physical health, and conversely, feeling isolated, such as having unmet belonging needs, has negative consequences for health and well-being. Esteem. Our esteem needs involve the desire to feel good about ourselves. According to Maslow, esteem needs include two components. The first involves feeling self-confidence and feeling good about oneself. The second component involves feeling valued by others. That is, feeling that our achievements and contributions have been recognized by other people. When people's esteem needs are met, they feel confident and see their contributions and achievements as valuable and important. However, when their esteem needs are not met, they may experience what psychologist Alfred Adler called feelings of inferiority. Self-actualization. Self-actualization refers to feeling fulfilled or feeling that we are living up to our potential. One unique feature of self-actualization is that it looks different for everyone. For one person, self-actualization might involve helping others. For another person, it might involve achievements in the artistic or creative field. Essentially, self-actualization means feelings that we are doing that we believe we are meant to do. According to Maslow, achieving self-actualization is relatively rare, and his example of famous self-actualization individuals includes Abraham Lincoln, Albert Einstein, and Mother Teresa. Maslow postulated that there were several prerequisites to meeting these needs. For example, having freedom of speech and freedom of expressions, or living in just and fair society are specifically mentioned within the hierarchy of needs. But Maslow believes that having these things make it easier for people achieving their needs. In addition to these needs, Maslow also believed that we have a need to learn new information and to better understand the world around us. This is partially because learning more about our environment help us meet other needs. For example, learning more about the world can help us feel safer. And developing a better understanding of a topic one is passionate about can contribute to self-actualization. However, Maslow believes that this call to understand the world around us is an innate need as well. Although Maslow presented his needs in hierarchy, he also acknowledged that meeting each need is not an all or nothing phenomenon. Consequently, people don't need to completely satisfy one need in order for the next need in the hierarchy to emerge. Maslow suggests that at any given time, most people tend to have each of their needs partly met, and that needs lower in the hierarchy are typically the ones that people have made the most progress towards. Additionally, Maslow pointed out that one behavior might meet two or more needs. For example, sharing of a meal with someone meets the psychological need for food, but it might also meet the needs of belonging. Similarly, working as paid caregiver would provide someone with income, which will also them to pay for food and shelter, but can also provide them a sense of social connections and fulfillment.
The number 5 question is, what are the hygiene factors? Why they are important in the educative process? According to Frederick Herbert's, the two-factor theory are hygiene factor and motivator factor. The hygiene factor, or known as extrinsic motivator, describe factors that cause dissatisfaction in the workplace. They are usually extrinsic or independent of the work itself, such as politics, quality of leadership, relationship, job security, and etc. They don't motivate employees, but the missing or lacking they can cause employee dissatisfaction. Example, the pay, the quality of supervision, the company rules, physical working condition, or the co-relationship or the co-worker relationship, and job security. And the second is motivators or satisfier or the satisfier or known as intrinsic motivators. Obviously related in motivating employees. They are related to instinct factor of the job such as responsibility, job satisfaction, recognition, achievement, opportunity or growth and advancement. Example are changes and promotion, personal growth, achievement, responsibility, and acknowledgement. They're important in the educative process because can target in order to improve learning of the students. The students' motivation, such as essential element that necessary of quality education. How the students motivated? First, pay attention. They begin working task immediately. The task and can ask question and volunteer to answer. And they appear to be happy and eager. The teacher must first to be guided by the goals and arrangement primary importance to develop the students' motivation to learn. Second is we need to framework the immediate framework or identifying the aspects of classroom that manipulated or manipulable. This structure must represent the classroom organization and such relate the instructional planning. Then we need to identify strategies that will serve to enhance the motivation of all the students. That's all.
So, hello everyone. Today I am going to answer all your questions. So, I was asked what is self-efficacy and how this concept figure in the educational measurement field and why this concept is important to teachers. So, when we say self-efficacy, it is the belief we have in our abilities, specifically our ability to meet the challenges ahead of us and complete a task successfully. So in general, self-efficacy is our overall belief in our ability to succeed. But there are many forms of self-efficacy as well. Although self-efficacy is related to our sense of self-worth or value as a human, students who believe in their ability to do well academically tend to be more motivated in school. When self-efficacious students attain their goals, they continue to set even more challenging goals. This can all lead to a better performance in school in terms of higher grades and taking more challenging classes. Like for example, students with high academic self-efficacy might study harder because they believe that they are able to use their abilities to study effectively. So, teachers' self-efficacy also can affect how well a student perform in school. Self-efficacious teachers encourage parents to take more active role in their children's learning, leading to better academic performance.
Receiving refers to the student's willingness to attend to a particular phenomena of a stimuli. The verbs that can be used are asked, she says, describes, follows, give, hope, and identify. For example, the students listen and remember the names of the students who introduced themselves. Next is responding. Refers to the active participation on the part of the students. At this level, he or she not only attends to a particular phenomenon but also reacts in some ways. Learning outcomes in this area emphasizes willingness to respond voluntarily. For example, the students are participating in problem-solving activities. The next is valuing. Is concerned with the worth or value of a student, attached to a particular object, phenomenon, or behavior. Value is based on the internalization of a set of specified values, but due to these values are expressed in the student's overt behavior. For example, accepting the idea that integrated in the curricula is a good way to learn. The next is organization. Is concerned with bringing together different values, resolving conflicts between them, and beginning the building of an internally consistent value system. The emphasis is on comparing, relating, and synthesizing values. For example, prioritizes the time effectively to meet the needs of the organization, family, and self. And the last is characterization. The individual has a value system that controls his or her behavior for a sufficiently long time for him or her to develop a characteristic lifestyle. The behavior is consistent and predictable. For example, of it is uses an objective approach in problem solving.
Okay, so pag sinabi natin na affective domain, ay include na dito yung mga factors such as student motivation, attitudes, perceptions, and values. And also, the affective domain can significantly enhance, inhibit, or even prevent student learning.
Hello, niya na sa kita karon. Karong adlaw atong nalikatan kining topic sa development of assessment tools. Assessment tools in the affective domain, particularly sa self-report. So, what is self-report? So, self-report is the most common measurement tool in the affective domain. It is essentially requires an individual to provide an account of his/her attitude or feelings toward or a concept or idea or people. Self-reports are also sometimes called writing reflection in using this measurement tool. Like the teachers required just to.
So the question is, what is a rating scale? Enumerate the various types of rating scale and explain. So rating scale is defined as a closed-ended survey question used to represent respondent feedback in a comparative form for specific particular features, product, and services. It is one of the most established question type for online and offline surveys where survey respondents are expected to rate an attribute or feature. Rating scale is a variant of the popular multiple choice question which is widely used to gather information that provide relative information about a specific topic. So broadly speaking, rating scale can be divided into two categories, the ordinal and interval scales. An ordinal scale is a scale that depicts the answer options in an ordered manner. The difference between the two answer options may not be calculable, but the answer options will always be in a certain innate order. Parameters such as attitude or feedback can be presented using an ordinal scale, while the interval scale is a scale where not only in the order of the answer variable established, but the magnitude of difference between each answer variable is also calculable. Absolute or true zero value is not represented in an interval scale. Temperature in Celsius or Fahrenheit is the most popular example of interval scale. Net Promoter Score, Likert scale, bipolar matrix table are some of the most effective type of interval scale. So there are 4 primary types of rating scale which can be suitable used in online survey. First is the graphic rating scale, numerical rating scale, descriptive rating scale, and last is comparative rating scale. So graphic rating scale indicates the answer option on a scale of 1-3 or 1-5. Likert scale is a popular graphic rating scale example. Respondents can select a particular option on a line or scale to depict ratings, while the numerical rating scale has number as answer options and not each number corresponds to a characteristic or meaning. For instance, a visual analog scale or a semantic differential scale can be presented using a numerical rating scale. So the third is descriptive rating scale. Each answer option is elaborately explained for the respondent. A numerical value is not always related to the answer options in the descriptive rating scale. There are certain surveys, for example, a customer satisfaction survey, which needs to describe all the answer options in detail so that every customer has thoroughly explained information about what is expected from the survey. And the last is comparative rating scale. It is, the name suggests, expects respondents to answer a particular question in terms of comparison on the basis of relative measurement or keeping other organizations, products, feature as a reference.
A Thornton scale has number of agree or disagree statements. It is a dimensional scale to measure attitude towards people. Developing the scale is time-consuming and relatively complex compared to other scales, like the Likert scale. Although there are technically 3 levels when people refer to the Thornton scale, they're usually talking about the method of equal appearing intervals. It's called equal appearing intervals because when you choose the items for your test, you're picking items equally spaced apart. The other 2 variations are the method of successive intervals. This method is more than challenging to implement than equal appearing intervals. The second one is the method of paired comparison. Requires twice the judgment than the equal appearing intervals method and can quickly become very consuming. The 3 methods differ in their constructions, but still result in the same agree or disagree quiz given to respondents. A Likert scale is a type of rating scale used to measure attitude or opinions. With this scale, respondents are asked to rate items on level of agreement. For example, strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree. 5 to 7 items are usually used in this scale. The scale does not have to state agree or disagree. Dozens of variations are possible on themes like agreement, frequency, quality, and importance. For example, in agreement, strongly agree to strongly disagree. In frequency, often to never. In quality, very good to very bad. In likelihood, definitely to never. In importance, a very important to unimportant. These items are called Likert scale response anchors. When the respondents have answered, numbers are assigned to the responses. For example, strongly agree 5, agree 4, neutral 3, disagree 2, strongly disagree 1. This enables you to assign meaning to responses. For example, a survey on a customer service can enable you to see which of your customer service representatives are providing good service, an average score 4 to 5, and which are providing poor service, an average score of 1 to 2. In the social science, the Gottman cumulative scale measures how much of a positive or negative attitude a person towards a particular topic. By giving the test, a numerical value can be placed on a topic or factor. The scale has yes or no answer to a set of questions that increase in specificity. The idea is that a person will get a certain point and then stop. For example, on a 5-point quiz, if a person gets 2 questions 3 and then stops, it implies they do not agree with question 4 and 5. If one person stops at 3, another at 1, and another at 5, the 3 people can be ranked along continuum.
So what is motivation? Motivation is a state of mind filled with energy and enthusiasm, which deserves a person to work in a certain way to achieve a desired goals. So motivation is a force which pushes a person to work with high level of commitment and focuses even if are against him. So motivation translated into a certain kind of human behaviors. It is important to ensure that every team member is an organization is motivated. So various psychologists have studied human behavior and have formalized their findings to form various motivation theories. So these theories provides understanding on how people behave and what motivates them. So motivation is a huge field of study. There are many theories of motivations. Some of the famous motivations or the theories includes the following: the Maslow hierarchy of needs. Abraham Maslow postulated that a person will be motivated when his needs are fulfilled. So the need starts from the lowest level, basic needs, and keep moving on the lower levels, needs to fulfill. Below is the hierarchy needs of level: psychological, physical, survival, which is the food, shelter, and so the second theory is which is the theories of Herbert's three-factor theory of Herbert's classified needs into 2 broad categories, namely the hygiene factors and motivating factors. So Herbert's three factors theory hygiene are need to make sure that an employee is not